Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Freaky Friday to all you freaks out there. I hope your day and your week are going well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes a new opportunity to go ahead and make some money. And guys, do I have something very special cooked up for you in today's video? A very special edition of Freaky Friday. That's right, guys. Today is Friday the 13th, and I spit in the face of fear, guys. I am not afraid of Friday the 13th. And to show you guys, I have a massive Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay plus 2,600 odds. You heard that here first. 5-leg player prop parlay plus 2,600 odds, and the data is fantastic across the board. We got some plus money plays in there. We got some almost even plays in there. We got a fantastic show ahead of you guys today. But first, before we dive into today's very special Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay, a quick little recap of how we did yesterday. And honestly, guys, we should be feeling good about how we did yesterday. A 3-1 performance. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we cashed yesterday. 3-1 overall. The only pick we missed, the Paw Patrol curse, rears its ugly head. Aaron Judge over 1.5 bases. He did finish with 1 base. He hit a single in his last at-bat, but unfortunately, we could not get the sweep, although we're still feeling really good coming off of yesterday's performance. The fact that we were 1 total base away from a sweep yesterday, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling confident going into today's video, guys. And we'll do one more giveaway for this week, Amazon gift card giveaway. All you have to do is comment 13. Comment 13 down below for Friday the 13th. And if this parlay hits, I'm going to go ahead and give a $40 Amazon gift card away to somebody. We're going to raise the stakes here a little bit. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. If this parlay hits, a free $50 Amazon gift card if this parlay cashes to one lucky commenter who comments 13 down below. That's all you got to do. And if the parlay hits, you guys can win some money on the parlay and some extra cash on a free Amazon gift card. All right, guys, no more time to waste. Let's dive into today's picks. All right, guys, jumping right into the outlier screen, guys. Our first leg of our 5-leg Freaky Friday, Friday the 13th parlay. We're targeting the Mets-Phillies game, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies over 1.5 bases. That's right, guys. We're starting things off with a plus money play and a big plus money play at that. Available everywhere. Now, obviously, guys, the point of this is to bet the parlay. But if you guys don't want to bet the parlay, I did make sure to add picks in there that you could bet straight up. So, again, if you want to just bet the Schwarber pick straight up, you can do what you want. My picks are for free. They're an all-you-can-eat buffet. But, again, the intention of today's video is that it's going to be a parlay. But, again, if you don't want to bet the parlay, if you want to, I don't want to judge anybody, but if you want to wuss out a little bit, you can bet it straight up. I will only judge you a little bit, I promise. But available on multiple sportsbooks here. We will be using DraftKings for our parlay purposes today. Again, so on this pick, plus 125 on DraftKings. Now, the overall data on this prop is not going to look great. I didn't lie, though, because the recent data does look really good. You see 7 of his last 10 games, Schwarber has cashed the over with an average of 3.9 total bases per game over his last 10. He's actually cashed it in 7 of his last 8 to narrow that down a little bit. So a really good run. He had 15 total bases on September 3rd versus the Blue Jays, but he's on a really good run of late with the Phillies. Overall this year, the data is not fantastic. Just a 37% hit rate on the year for Schwarber. 50 out of 134 games this year, he has cashed the over. So like I said, the overall data may not be fantastic, but the recent data, which in baseball, it's all about if you're hot or cold, the recent data looks really solid. Schwarber's been on a really good form of late, and we're hoping it'll continue to ride that hot hand. This is the highest odd pick in the parlay. It's the riskiest pick of the parlay for a reason, but I really do still like the spot. The head-to-head data, a little deceiving. 7 of his last 19 matchups versus the New York Mets, 7 of his 19 matchups versus the Mets, he's actually succeeded in cashing the over. 12 of 19 times he's failed to cash the over. Just a 37% hit rate versus the Mets dating back to last season. But if we go ahead and narrow this view down a little bit, he's played the Mets 6 times this year and has cashed the over in 4 out of 6 meetings with the Mets this season, including 4 of his last 5 matchups versus the New York Mets. He has successfully cashed the over. So while at first glance the head-to-head data may not be fantastic overall, it's actually looked pretty good of late. But where this prop gets painted for me is down below. The picture becomes much clearer when we look at the key matchup stats. Kyle Schwarber versus Jose Quintana, 15 plate appearances since 2018, a .333 batting average with 5 hits, 9 total bases, and 2 extra base hits with a .600 slugging percentage hitting off of Jose Quintana. So pretty decent sample size there and a pretty decent matchup versus Jose Quintana, the pitcher for the Mets tonight. And looking at Schwarber's numbers, he's batting .251 overall this year, but versus left-handed pitchers like Jose Quintana, a massive jump to .321 with also a massive jump to a .419 BABIP. BIP. So really good increases there. Although we do see a little bit of increase in his power, right? His ISO goes from 245 to 198. His extra base hit percentage from 43 to 25. I'm not too concerned about that. Overall, his numbers are significantly better versus left-handed pitchers. And if that didn't do it for you guys, Jose Quintana's numbers versus left-handed batters increase in our favor. Overall, 4.09 ERA this year for Quintana. That increases to 4.22. His batting average up to 2.62. His slugging percentage jumps a pretty decent amount actually to 4.84. And his extra base hit percentage is pretty high at 42.4%. So guys, overall, right, the season total data really doesn't look great. But if you narrow it down, you look at the matchup stats, you look at the recent data, this seems like a really solid prop. And for plus 125 or plus 140, depending where you're getting it, my God, the value on this thing is absolutely insane. All right, guys, our second leg of our 5-leg parlay, we're looking at the Red Sox-Yankees game, 7:05 p.m. first pitch. We're actually going to run back a prop that we did hit on last night's video. We're going to Anthony Rizzo here under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. This prop is the most juice out of all the props in today's parlay, meaning that it's the highest one. All of them are minus 150 or lower. This one is over minus 150. It's minus 150 BetMGM, minus 155 on DraftKings. But guys, the data is fantastic. I did show you guys yesterday how good it is, and it only got better thanks to yesterday's cash. Again, he had no hits, no runs, and no RBIs in an extra inning win for the Yankees last night. He's cashed it in each of his last 9 games for the Yanks. Even look at the last 20 games, a 70% hit rate, 14 of his last 20. He's cashed the under, averaging 1.05 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And so far in 2024, a 56% hit rate on the under for Rizzo. 45 out of 81 games this year he's cashed the under, averaging 1.6 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And looking at the numbers for Boston, 6 of his last 9 meetings, very nice. Versus the Red Sox, he has cashed the under. A 67% hit rate versus Boston dating back to last year with an average of 1.33 hits, runs, RBIs per game. He's played Boston 4 times this year and has a 50% hit rate on this under each of his last 2 meetings versus the Red Sox, both yesterday and back on June 16th. He has cashed the under. So really solid data there. And then looking at the insights provided by Outlier, Anthony Rizzo has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 7 of his last 8 games at home, an average of 0.8 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 8 home games. And the key matchup stats, they just get even better. 7 plate appearances versus Tanner Houck since 2018. 0. Zip, zilch, nada hits off of Tanner Houck since 2018. Not a massively large sample size there, just 7 plate appearances. But still, something we can go ahead and look at there. And looking at Anthony Rizzo in 2024, a 218 batting average. I know it shows red, but versus right-handed pitchers, it's the exact same number, guys. And just a spoiler alert, 218 batting average in baseball, not very good. Rizzo's been struggling a little bit. I mean, he's on the older side, but he's been struggling a little bit for the Yankees this year. And guys, the matchup just gets even better when you look at Tanner Houck's stats. 3.24 ERA, 2.35 batting average overall. Houck's had a fantastic year for Boston, but looking versus left-handed batters, it gets even better for Tanner Houck. Now, 2.86 ERA versus lefties, 217 batting average allowed. Fantastic number, especially when you match that with the 218 batting average of Anthony Rizzo. 0.5 home runs per 9, 267 OBA. Guys, it's minus 155 for a reason. This prop is absolutely fantastic. And before we dive into the final 3 legs of today's parlay, I do want to give a quick special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Outlier. Guys, you saw all the data for this pick, this Anthony Rizzo pick. I got this all from Outlier. All the data that I provide you guys in all my player prop videos are brought to you by Outlier. It is the best sports betting tool in the market, and we have a special offer down below in our description. If you use the link down below, you get a 7-day free trial to check Outlier out for yourself. It truly is the best sports betting tool in the market, guys, and if you want to make money in the sports betting landscape, you got to have the right tool by your side, especially if we're betting baseball. Look, guys, MLB postseason is coming up right around the corner. If you want to make money betting on playoff baseball, you got to have a tool like Outlier by your side. It consolidates everything that you need to know to make smart sports betting choices all in one easy to find and easy to look at place. And you can use it in everything, not just baseball. It's available for football, basketball, hockey, WNBA, soccer, all kinds of stuff. Every sport's on there. It's a really fantastic tool. All the major sports, I should say, are on there. Really, it's been with football season here, college football, NFL, really useful tool to have by your side. And the best part is, after your free trial is over, it's only $19.99 a month. And if you're making smart sports betting choices with Outlier, if you're using Outlier to help you win money, you're going to make that money. You're going to basically pay it for itself, right? Outlier, if you're using it properly, should pay for itself in theory, right? Using better smart sports betting tips and data and whatnot to make your decisions. So go ahead, check the link down below in your description, 7-day free trial to check it out for yourself. Special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, getting back to the picks, our third leg of our 5-leg parlay. We're targeting the Reds-Twins game, 8:10 p.m. first pitch. We're going Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins under 4.5 hits allowed. This is another plus money play here on DraftKings, plus 105, also available on BetMGM, Underdog, and Caesars for plus 105. Bailey Ober has cashed this under in 8 of his last 10 games, an 80% hit rate with an average of 3.3 hits allowed per game. He had two kind of outliers, I would say. Shout outlier. Nice little reference there. 7 hits allowed on August 15th versus the Rangers, then 7 hits allowed versus the Braves on August 26th. But besides those two starts dating back to July, it's been a really good run here for Bailey Ober. And it's not only the last 10 games. You look at the total season data, it's really solid. Look at the last 20 games. 65% hit rate. 13 of his last 20 games, he has cashed the under with an average of 4.2 hits allowed per game. So far in 2024, a 67% hit rate on the under. 18 out of 27 games he's cashed the under, averaging 4.19 hits allowed per game. So like I said, the recent data, the season data, everything looks good on this prop. And the head-to-head data also very solid as well. The last time he faced off with Cincinnati, now this was last year, back in September of 2023. He did cash the under, giving up 3 hits, and was a 5-3 win for Minnesota. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, we just said all this, but one more time we'll repeat it just in case you weren't paying attention. Bailey Ober has failed to exceed 4.5 hits allowed in 8 of his last 10 games, with an average of 3.3 hits allowed per game over those last 10 games. And overall, it's a pretty solid matchup. Now, the Reds overall this season, 24th against right-handed pitchers with a .233 batting average in totality this season. However, over the last 30 games, the Reds have been hitting better off of right-handed pitchers. You see they're now 13th in Major League Baseball over the last 30 games with a .249 batting average. That is a cause for concern, and that number right there is why this is probably a plus money play. The fact that the Reds of late have been hitting the ball very well off of right-handed pitchers. And their BABIP, which is 16th overall in the year, is actually the second best in the majors at 323 over the last 30 games. So those numbers are a little concerning here. Again, it's why it's a plus money play, but there's still some stuff that I'd like to see here. Their strikeout rate, the Reds, bottom 4 Major League Baseball in strikeout rate versus right-handed pitchers over the last 30 games, 26% strikeout rate. They strike out a lot off of right-handed pitchers. And that's been the case all season long. And their hard hitting percentage also bottom 5 in Major League Baseball over the last 30 games. Compare that to Bailey Ober's stats. They're really solid. 200 batting average allowed this year. That's the 92nd percentile there for Bailey Ober's. BABIP, 237, 94th percentile. His strikeout rate, 26.5, 81st percentile. Across the board, really good data there for Bailey Ober. Yes, it's a plus money play, but I still absolutely love the spot here for Ober's under. All right, guys, moving on. Our fourth leg of our 5-leg parlay. We're now targeting the Cubs-Rockies game, 8:40 p.m. first pitch. We're going Javier Assad of the Chicago Cubs under 3.5 earned runs. This prop is available for minus 120 odds on DraftKings. Again, that's the sportsbook we're going to be using for the parlay, but also available if you're looking to bet it straight up on Caesars, BetMGM, and on Underdog. And looking down below, guys, once again, the data is absolutely fantastic. Each of his last 10 games, he has cashed the under with an average of 1.8 earned runs per game over his last 10 games. If you go ahead and stretch that out to the last 20 games, 85% hit rate, 17 of his last 20 games he's cashed the under with an average of 1.95 earned runs per game allowed over his last 20 games. And so far this year, an 88% hit rate on this under. 23 out of 26 games this season, he has cashed the under with an average of 1.77 earned runs per game. Now, the head-to-head data may tell us a little bit as to why this pick is where it's at in terms of the line, in terms of the odds here. A 50% hit rate versus the Rockies over his last 2 games against them. Now, this year so far, 1 meeting back on April 2nd in Chicago. 0 earned runs for Javier Assad in that game. But the last time they played at Colorado, which was dating back to last year, September 12th of last season, 4 earned runs allowed in that game. It was a 6-4 win for the Rockies. And look, guys, pitching in Colorado is a pitcher's nightmare because of the elevation and everything like that. It's a lot easier to get big hits off of pitchers in the stadium. Normally, I think this line would probably be a little bit higher, probably something like 4.5 overall. But again, because of where they're playing in Colorado, again, a stadium notorious for killing pitchers, I understand why the line's where it's at and why it's available for the odds that it is. But that being said, he cashed the over just barely at 4 earned runs in that game, and he's had a really, really strong season this year. And the key matchup stats down below, it looks really solid. Again, the insight provided by Outlier, we already know all this. Javier Assad has failed to exceed 3.5 earned runs in 10 straight games, 1.8 earned runs per game average. We just talked about that. But Colorado's batting versus right-handed pitchers is where I'm very interested in this number. Now, overall, their batting average versus right-handed pitchers, you see 20th, bottom 10 in Major League Baseball over the last 30 games, just a 237 batting average. Overall this year, they're middle of the road at 245, but over the last 30 games, a decrease in their batting average versus right-handed pitchers down to 237. Their OBP also down. Bottom 10 in the league over the last 30 games, 304 overall. They are bottom half the league overall this year, 307 OBP, so that's kind of been consistent all year long. But over the last 30 games, bottom 10 mark in the league. Now, again, going back to what we talked about with Colorado, the elevation, bigger hits, the slugging percentage here for the Rockies, they are 12th in Major League Baseball right now in slugging percentage off of right-handed pitchers, 409. It is top half of the league. That is something to consider here. In their BABIP is the 7th best in the league, which at 309, which actually is a decrease from their overall numbers this season. There is definitely some risk involved with this prop, guys, but overall I do like the numbers. Javier Assad, 243 batting average allowed this season. That is in the 49th percentile. His ERA 314, 85th percentile. His BABIP 278, 67th percentile. His FIP at 446, again, not fantastic. I mean, look, guys, there's always risk with every pick. It's why it's called gambling. But I think with the season that Assad's having here, I still like the spot here versus Colorado. It's a little bit of a tough matchup on the road, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed here, that you can keep this with at least 3 earned runs. I just don't see Colorado really crushing this guy. He did cash. He had 0 earned runs the last time they played, but again, that wasn't Chicago. But when he last pitched in Colorado, 4 earned runs, I think he's pitching a little bit better this year than he was last year. So fingers crossed, we're praying here for a hit on Javier Assad. I know I didn't sound super confident in that pick, but I promise you guys all these picks I'm very confident in. In our 5th and final leg in today's parlay, we're targeting the Astros-Angels game, 9:38 p.m. first pitch. We're going Taylor Ward here of the Angels over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. It is a plus money play on BetMGM, minus 105 on DraftKings. And again, the recent data on this prop is pretty solid. The overall data is okay. 8 of his last 10 games, he has cashed the over, including each of his last 5 games, with an average of 3.2 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10 games. Look at the last 20 game data, 65% hit rate. 13 of his last 20 games, he has cashed the over with an average of 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game. But like I said, the overall season data, not fantastic. 46% hit rate overall this year, 64 out of 140 games for the Angels. He has cashed the over with an average of 1.89 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And yeah, the head-to-head data is a little worrisome. 7 of his last 16 matchups versus the Astros, he's cashed the over with an average of 2.06 hits, runs, RBIs per game. But each of his last 5 meetings versus the Astros, he's failed to cash the over this season. So that is a bit worrisome there, but we'll look at the key matchup stats down below. I'm actually pretty excited about this. The insights provided by Outlier, Taylor Ward has exceeded 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games at home with an average of 3.8 hits, runs, RBIs per game average over his last 5 home games. And the key matchup stats here are really, really solid. Looking at Taylor Ward versus Kikuchi, the pitcher for the Astros, 8 plate appearances since 2018, 500 batting average. He's got 4 hits, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs off of Kikuchi since 2018. And the splits down below are absolutely fantastic. Taylor Ward batting 248 overall this year, which is not fantastic, but versus left-handed pitchers with a 117 plate appearance sample rate, 343 batting average. He is crushing it off of left-handed pitchers this season. He's had a lot of success there. And looking at Kikuchi, he's not had much success off of right-handed batters. Now, his numbers are all slight increases from his overall numbers, but they're still not fantastic. 4.34 ERA, not fantastic for him, I should say, fantastic for us. 4.34 ERA versus right-handed batters with a 261 batting average allowed. 1.4 home runs per nine is actually a pretty high number there for Kikuchi. So overall, really solid data. Key matchup stats. I know the overall season data for Taylor Ward, not fantastic, and the head-to-head data of late has not been great, but overall, the numbers look really solid on this prop. For almost plus money, very solid value. All right, guys, so that's it. Those are all 5 legs of our 5-leg Freaky Friday parlay. Quick little rundown recap here. We got Anthony Rizzo under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Bailey Ober under 4.5 hits allowed. Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 total bases. Taylor Ward over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. And Javier Assad under 3.5 earned runs, guys. The link for these picks will be down below in the description. Very easy to go ahead and follow along with, guys. It's right there. You click the link, it'll take you right to this page. It's even better than putting in the pinned comment, in my opinion. No disrespect to Ev. I like what he does. He has his own thing, but this is just how I do. I know I've seen a lot of people commenting, put that in the pinned comment. I just don't get it. I think it's easier this way. I don't have to go ahead, and not like I'm lazy, I don't want to do the work. It makes so much more sense. Just click the link and it takes you right to this page and you see all these picks. And then you can go ahead and click add to bet slip, continue in browser, and it'll take you right to DraftKings and plug the parlay in for you. You don't even have to lift a finger. Well, 2 clicks of a button will do it for you. But very simple process there, guys. But again, plus 2,616 odds for this 5-leg parlay. It is also available on BetMGM if you want to use a different sports book. Available BetMGM, all 5 legs for plus 2,613. So almost the same there from DraftKings. Looking around here, all 5 are available on Underdog, although I'm not sure if it's available in that way. Underdog, obviously, a little bit different than other sports books. But yeah, really solid overall. So guys, that does it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Guys, we have a ton of great content here on the channel. My college football picks video just came out today. Make sure to go ahead and check that out for week 3. We have a ton of NFL stuff. Our H2H video, which is killing it lately. Me and Ev, a lot of our picks hit last night. So a lot of great football content. We also have Trey, who's been crushing it with WNBA. If you're not subscribed, guys, you're just missing out. These are all free picks that we're just giving away. And, again, our cash rates have been really high for all 3 of us over the last couple of weeks, over the last couple of months, honestly. So if you're not subscribed, guys, you're just missing out on an opportunity to win some free money. I even have a special announcement to make. I'll have a new NFL show coming out probably tomorrow. It's another NFL picks show, but with my own special spin on it. A little spin on that show. But yeah, we have a ton of great content, guys, and we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So guys, we could really use your help. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I announced it a couple days ago, guys, or maybe even last week. I won't be doing videos on the weekends until the MLB playoffs come around. Once the playoffs are around, I'll be doing Saturday and Sunday videos if they're playoff games on the weekend. But just with so much football content going on and so much stuff, again, if you guys, not to keep making things personal, but, with everything, my situation, my family and work and everything, taking the weekends off from making MLB videos. And again, not like I'm taking it off. I still have 2 football videos to do this weekend, but just to give a little break. So we will be back on Monday with another MLB player prop video. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys enjoy it, have fun, but be safe at the same time. We'll see you back here on Monday for another edition of MLB player prop video. We'll see you again soon. Holy shit, that was a terrible outro. I hope you're all winners, guys. We'll see you back on Monday.